Hi guys, this is the worksheet that you have for homework tonight. These are the couple of problems we went over in class. I'm just going to recap each section to make sure you're on the right track. Now, you're going to need to kind of look at your transformation rule sheet. I know maybe not everyone has this or took their spiral notebook home, so this will be posted on Teams to help you refer to give you your resource to find your rule. So our rules are on this left side here. So what you want to do on our worksheet here, they're giving you the rule. So for example, on number 4, since I already know the original equation is here, let me fix this real quick, is over here. If I look, I'm looking at the change from f of x equals x to now f of x is 1/2 x. The change is happening with the slope, with the coefficient. So on our paper, if I see the bx, and I look right here, here's the b in front. Basically, that affects the steepness. If the b, the number in front of the x, is greater than 1, it's steeper. If it's between 0 and 1, which is like a fraction or decimal, it's less steep. So if I look at that, because I have this 1/2, this would be less steep. Now on number 6 here, you have two things happening. You're having your slope, and you also have a -2. So on our rule, if I have a function and I subtract some number from it, that's indicating a shift down. So I need to talk about how steep it is and how far it's shifting. That's your hint. Now on this section, they're giving you the description. You're writing the transformation equation. So anything is a shift up or down is adding or subtracting. So for example, we're using the original function here. If I'm doing a shift up, that would be f of x is equal to x plus 3. That's our shift up. Remember, steeper is our slope. So if I have a steeper by a factor of 5, that means f of x is equal to 5x. A reflection over x, that corresponds to, like on number 5, the negative sign. So you have to have a negative slope to get a reflection. So shifts up are adding the d. Shift down, that's the minus d. Less steep, there's your factor, that's dealing with your slope. Reflected over the x-axis and shifted down. So this has two things. If it's reflected over the x-axis, that's going to be a negative x. And because we have a shift down, that's going to be -1. All right. Now, on this next section, you're going to do some problem solving. It's going to be a multi-step because you want to look at the graphs to come up with our transformation. So it says the graph of f of x is shown, like on A, this is our graph of the line of the original function. They want us to sketch g sub x, which is steeper than the function by a factor of 2. So g sub x is the new rule or the new function, and it says the factor 2 and shift down. And it's shift down units. I guess I'm gonna shift down just 1 unit. I'm gonna get some leniency on that. So in order to do our transformation, we need to know the original function. So I need to find the original function, that's our original, for this line. And usually when we do it, we need it in mx plus b form. So what's necessary is the m and the b. Well, I can see the b. The y-intercept is right here. That's my b. What I need to do is use the points to find the slope. And hopefully you remember, in order to find the slope, m, you would use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, I could count or my rise over run, but the formula is the most accurate. It looks like our scale is the same, so I can double check it by counting. But I'm just gonna plug in our numbers. So I'm gonna let this be my x1 and y1, and this be my x2 and y2. Sorry about that. I'm gonna change my font. Sorry about that. So if I plug it in, this would be 4 minus 7 over 4 minus 0, which is a negative 3 over 4. So that's our slope. So I can count that. If I start my pencil here at the y-intercept, I'm going down 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that's negative 3. To the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4. So yeah, this is my slope. So the original function is negative 3 force x plus 7. That's the f of x. I probably need to change that. Write that as f of x so you won't get confused. All right, so that's our f of x, the original. Now we're going to do our g sub x. Let me click this right here. Remember, our g sub x has a steepness of a scale factor of 2, and it is shifting down. I'm going to put 1 unit. Oh, I could put 2 units. So there's 2 things are happening. So to have a scale factor of 2, the shiftness, remember on our notes here, that's when we're plugging in the number for x. Okay, so we're doing a steepness of 2, a factor of 2. That means we're going to plug into our original function. So here we go. So if our original, I'm going to plug in 2 in place of this. This would be negative 3 force, plugging in 2 for our steepness, and then plus 7. This would get simplified to another fraction, which is a negative 3 over 2x now. And then, oh, because we want a shift, sorry about the shift. Where was it? Shift up or down? Shift down. So the shift down is minus 2. So when I simplify this, this becomes plus 5. So this is our new function. Now this can vary a little if you change your shift amount, but whenever we're changing the steepness, that means we have to plug in the number for x and get a new number here for our slope. So that's showing how the slope is changing right there. So kind of use that to come up with your original function on B. Using right there, I can see my y-intercept. Oops, sorry, it's off. So we need to count. We need our m, we need our b. That would help me get my original function. You write that, and then you're going to plug in 2 for x and add or subtract, sorry, 2 to the function. So try to see if you can do that one. Now on the back, I want you to complete the table using slopes of parallel and perpendicular. If the slope is parallel, this would be the same number, same slope, means same number. That's my number symbol there. Perpendicular slope, this is when we flip the number and, sorry, and change the sign. Okay. So in order to see the slope, the equation has to be an mx plus b form. Because m, right here, the number in front of the x is your slope. So I can see this one. This is the slope. So the parallel is going to be the same number. The perpendicular is flipping the number and changing the sign. This ends up becoming negative 2 over 1, which is just negative 2. Now here, there's not a y equals, a x equals. You have to remember what slope or what type of line this is. It would end up being a vertical line. So this slope is undefined. The perpendicular to vertical is horizontal, which would be 0. Now on 16, it's not in slope-intercept form for I can read the slope. It is not the 3. And I've seen some mistakes like that with some of your homework we'll talk about in class. If it's in standard form, I did refer to you a shortcut, which is negative a over b, if you know how to do that. If not, we're solving this equation. I'm going to do it over here, 3x plus 4y equals 3. We're solving for y. So you would have to minus 3x. Now we would write 4y equals a negative 3x plus 3. Then to solve for y, I would divide every term by 4. There's a 4. And so y equals a negative 3/4 x plus 3/4. And now I can see my slope is the negative 3/4. So negative 3/4. And the perpendicular is flipping it and changing the sign. That'll be 4/3. So on this last section here, in order to write or determine if the pair of equations are parallel, perpendicular, or neither, again, to physically see the slope, it has to be in slope-intercept form so that you can see the m. So like on this one, I can see the m is 2 here, but I can't for the second equation. It's in standard form. So you have to solve for y, excuse me. Okay, so when you do that, negative y equals negative 2x plus 3. You can't have a negative y. So to get rid of that negative, you're dividing each term by negative 1. So y equals actually a positive 2x minus 3. I now see the slope of 2. They're the same number, so this is parallel. So you can put the symbol for parallel, excuse me. That's two vertical lines. The symbol for perpendicular is neither. I mean, it's upside down T. And then, sorry guys, I just got ahead of myself. And then you can just put N for neither, okay? So that's what you're gonna have to do in this section. And then here, they're telling you exactly, you have to compare the two lines. So back to solving for y again. And then they have this line B there. I can physically see the slope of that one. Oops. So I need to see the slope for this equation to determine if it's parallel, perpendicular, or neither. All right, so I hope that helps you get this done. You're ready to go over it in class tomorrow. We're going to have another activity to build off of this. All right, thank you.